Хоча покажу, як кожен спортсмен піднімає логліфт.
Покажи.
Можемо почати з Тірекса.
Ну давай, хочешь стену? Давай.
Блядь, сейчас шучу.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm here, and I see my little thing wiggling, which means remove. There we go. It's me. Oh, wait, there's a bug in here. Go away. All right. Sorry, little bug flying around. Hello, anyone who's here. So now is the moment in the stream when I just start vamping, waiting for people to show up. So in case people do show up. What are we doing tonight? Oh, geez. I have some packages to open and 3 books to look at, 3 titles to look at. I might have almost called this like the stream of incomplete floppies. Let's see how my camera's aimed. Oh, we can fix that. Yeah, and the middle is going to be, I'm always like right here. So, yeah, fix that. Get that all straightened out. Sorry, Mr. NINALTOWSKI, we have to remove your beautiful Art to Bear inspired artwork. There we go. Okie doke. So we're gonna look at 3 titles. We got Vestri, Fallen, and what was the third one? Oh, it's the one that's live. Oh, Wulfsbane. And they're all floppy series that are not fully out yet. Well, I should say 2 of them have ended, but they're not delivered yet, which is fine. You know, they're not late or anything. And then another one of them, Wulfsbane, is just getting started. So one of the things I want to remember to say, remove that video, okay, is that the, remove that video, there we go. How do I say this? The focus on Vestri is going to be about how the artist has improved over time. And I think he's doing his own coloring, which is pretty cool. So his name's Jakub, and I can't pronounce his last name because I don't speak Croatian. I think he's a Croat. What I don't get is when it's winter, I don't wear a coat, I wear a coat. So why do we call them Croatians? They should be Croats. And so they're Croatians. Yeah, it's not supposed to be funny. It just puzzles me how we pronounce things funny. That's all. Anyway, no, it's not a joke. I'm just puzzled at why we pronounce things differently. And let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. So I do have one note on Kozor from last week. As people are coming in. Oh, let's see. How was today? Today I did not lift, and I feel like a lazy bum because of it. I had too much show prep to do to actually go to the gym, and it's really bad. But I did get all the links I need in the description for this. Let's see if I can do this easily. Share screen, and we're gonna pick not screen. Do a window. There we go. Here's a window. Share. And I have to and add to stream. There we go. So over here on this guy, I just want you guys to notice, click there. There's a lot of links here. So I keep a little bit of a record of, let's see, whoever's I'm doing this week tends to be up here. So you see through those 3 people. And then I keep the Xenotype Kakshi stuff here along with a few other people. And then just different links to stuff I've promoted or been interested in. So you can find things in there like, I think I have some redundancy though, because up here we have Gary Shipman, Eric NINALTOWSKI, and then down here, Mouse of Might and Shadow Sentry show up again. So, oh well. But we got Clint Stoker down here and Eric Weathers. I told him I would mention this. He did just launch a. I can't see the chat. Crud. Well, I don't think anyone's here. But anyway, I think only the quiet people are here because I have a number but no comments. Anyway, Eric Weathers did just launch a Kickstarter for his new cover for Battlebrick Road #1, and is doing a sign-up list right now for Battlebrick Road #2. I spoke about that a few weeks ago, much to my embarrassment, because that stream was so bad. I was extremely tired and could not think straight about what I wanted to say. It was really bad. I've been off caffeine for a month, and now I feel better that I have tea and chocolate and stuff. So I finally got my blood work done, so I can have caffeine again. Just a moment. And yet I'm thinking of keeping the caffeine really light and just be careful with it. Jiu-jitsu was pretty good today. And now, for anyone who's here now and wondering why is he talking about jiu-jitsu, I'm just talking a little bit as the stream opens to let people show up. So, jiu-jitsu was pretty good today. My teammate who's been injured, he's thinking about having to quit because he's got to think about his kids and his future, and I don't blame him. You know, that's kind of that's not great. But stop the screen. There we go. That he's there. He's doing pretty well. He says he hurts a little bit, so I feel that. Not happy with it. And then if I had people here, I'd put up a little poll to find out what do you want me to open. I have 2 packages to open, and one of them is kind of a mystery package. So do you want the mystery package, or do you guys want the? I would be asking, do you want the stickers and which material? Stickers versus bookmarks stuff? Because that came and I accidentally slit the end of the envelope open because I didn't recognize what it was. Oh, there's the bug. I think I got him. He may have fallen in my water. Hold on. Nope, we're clean. All right. But I don't have enough people here for a vote. So let's see. What have I got? Oh yeah. So I've got a couple packages to open. And then let's see. Where was I? Jiu-Jitsu buddy. Yeah, he's doing well, and but his knee is going to be bugging him for like 4 more weeks or whatnot. And it's kind of cool working with him because I know he's a white belt. I know he's a newbie. It's not a problem. He's a little bit larger, and I've had somebody do this to me in judo where I was maybe 10 pounds of muscle bigger, and which is a lot, and definitely 15 pounds of fat bigger. Like I think I was getting down from 230 pounds. So anyway, and this brown belt at the time, she's a black belt now, and I do not work with her. You're about to find out why. She decided to try a certain judo throw, so she grabs my gi the way you're supposed to. I gave her permission. Yeah, try this throw. She's supposed to come into my shoulder, and what she did was she took her shoulder, like, you know, her upper arm, her humerus, and rammed her body weight into my humerus, like, you know, about here, just below the deltoid, but on the front. So, you know, still that same spot. And it pretty much knocked my shoulder out of its socket. You know, thankfully it just went right back in with no problems. But, you know, people think that just because someone's a little bit larger, you can wail on them and that it's not a problem. And that's not true at all. So I'm glad that my teammate in jiu-jitsu trusts me. But this chick that I don't work with anymore, the separate story, after she's supposed to put her body weight and throw into the head of my humerus, like where your chest meets your shoulder. That's where she's supposed to go, not down on your arm and rip your arm out, your arm out of its socket. Like she just doesn't care. She's also impossible to communicate with. When I first met her, we had never talked, and she came over and started. It was in judo class, where she was not an instructor and was only a brown belt. There are 3 brown belts in judo. I think she was the top one. She might have been middle, but I think she was top. And she came over and started talking to me like I was freaking 5, giving me instructions on what I should be doing before class starts, etc. When she has no idea what's going on. My judo instructor would allow me, because I was heavier and having trouble literally keeping my pants on, because with being heavier, they tend to fall off more easily, that we run around in circles to warm up and do certain things. And I just said, hey, can I throw my gi on after we warm up? It'd be a lot easier. And he said, sure, just make sure you're not, you know, late or anything. So, you know, don't dilly-dally and whatnot. And that was all cool. She comes in the middle of a run of classes. Classes were in 8-week segments. She comes in. It's not the beginning of an 8-week segment. I'm not brand new. We also line up by rank. So I'm like in the middle of all the orange and yellow belts, like orange, yellow, and I think I was still yellow, about to turn orange, or I just got my orange, one or the other. And it's white, yellow, orange, and then green, and then the browns. But And she's talking to me like this, like, do you see where I'm standing? So I've decided in jujitsu, I can never work with her. She does not listen to people. She's just one of these presumptuous, pushy people. It's terrible. Anyway, so big, long anecdote to introduce. Let's get back to comic books because they're awesome. So I forgot something last time. Before we open mail, I forgot something last time about Kozor. Here you go. Oh, I wish I had remembered this. Wait, how's my light? Am I too bright? Over a little. Okay. I forgot to point out one editorial thing. So let's see. Way at the beginning of Kozor, this is just a quick note from last week to follow up. I was reading along. Baron meets his daughter, and then here, I'm looking for the word father. Come on. And this is, of course, the Megator speaking. Kozor is the guy right there with red crystals in his hands. So they call him a chief. He's a chief over whatever he is, Chief Baron, which is funny to have two titles for a name. Or she's calling him Master Baron. But here it's what's wrong, comma, Master Baron. See, that's fine. That's the way it should be. Somewhere back here, I think it was back here, because I thought it was, yeah, here's, can you hear my friends, comma, daddy? That's fine. But there were places where they left out there are like three places where they left out the commas that go around, hey, Guilty Gearhead and Bionic Bra. Technically first? Wait, I missed something. Oh, yeah, Bionic Bra, you may be technically first in the chat because I've had the chat open for hours. Guilty Gearhead, good to see you. I don't recognize your name, so thanks for coming by. And by the way, if I don't recognize your name, please don't get insulted. If you're like, dude, we've been friends for years, my mind scatters when I go live. All right, anyway, so back to Kozor. There is a place where they left out the commas that go around the person you're talking to. And at one point, it was a little confusing, and then I caught it. Being dyslexic doesn't help, but sometimes being dyslexic helps me find errors rather than just blast through them. And then later, they're talking about finding this thing in the swamp. And, oh yeah, so I misread this as, we shouldn't have to travel too far into the swamp to find the faceless creature chief. And that's how I read it. And then on the next line, Baron, which of course is not how you read Shakespeare. In high school, everyone reads Shakespeare. You get to the end of the line, you stop, even though that's not where the sentence breaks. All right. So I made that sentence break mistake here because the comma around Chief Baron isn't there to offset the person you're talking about, or talking to. Sorry about that. So it should be too far into the swamp to find the faceless creature, comma, Chief Baron, like that. No worries. Hey, Lion Ratton. I just wasted a bunch of time on a judo story. It's all sob stories and injuries, so you should go listen to it, drama and stuff. Anyway, I'm kidding. So by not offsetting the commas here, it did throw me in a couple places, and that's something they should look for. And then just presenting that to you now live, I actually found where they did it correctly in here. So that little grammatical standard would help. Needs a proofreader, and no proofreader is perfect. I'm sure there are plenty of people who proofread this because what's his name? Clayton is no slack when it comes to creating books. Damn, I missed the judo story. Am I gonna have to catch the replay? Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna have to. Well, you could go back now and like listen at 1.5 speed and re-catch up, but it's just about why I won't work with this particular lady at my jujitsu classes. I know her from judo, and she's not great. So as far as jujitsu goes, the large guy is recovering from his injury. He's juggling some decisions about what he's going to do. Let's fix that a little bit. Hi. Hope that's better. And then but I hope he's doing okay. He did trust me. He trusts two of us to work with him, so I'm really flattered. I look at him and I remember he's a white belt. So working with him today was a lot of really clumsy stuff. It's when somebody is on top of you sideways, and how you get underneath, and like how you can swing or get out from underneath, and you could swing yourself around and over into on top of them and stuff. And he's just not used to doing that, despite his background and prior training. It's not his thing. So it was like, yeah, I'm enjoying working with a white belt, and I just wish people weren't so harsh on him because he's just big, Okay, so Kozor had some punctuation errors. They caught my attention. That's what I forgot to say last week. And Corey Barton, of course, or sorry, Corey Barton drawing everything with Clayton Barton's help. Clayton Barton is no slouch when it comes to publishing. He's a good instructor, as far as I know. Very knowledgeable guy. So let's set that aside. Okay, mail time. Okay, since there are a few people here, I got one package and I did not recognize whom it was from. I peeled the label off already. But then I looked it up and I found it and I said, oh yeah, that. And now I can't remember who it is anymore. Would you guys rather I open the mystery package or that I open the stickers versus bookmarks one? And just give a few seconds for that. The stickers bookmarks one I'll just do in the future if need be. So, mystery? All right, cool. We'll do the mystery then. I have no idea what's in here. Although, save mystery. I need a tiebreaker. Jake, are you still here? Save the mystery. I have like 15 other packages. I really hate how this could be I'm waiting for one more vote, but I really hate how something comes in that I know people might be excited to see, but I have all these other boxes ahead of it, and it's like, how do I balance and mix, that kind of thing. So anyway, if I can get another vote from I've already started this one. I don't want to. Okay. All right. So, plus I do try to say if I know a package is going to be from a more popular creator and then a lesser known creator, not unpopular, just lesser known, I want to mix those two together too. So we'll see. Save yourself the headache. Thank you. It looks like it got through safely. I mean, a couple little dents and stuff. Trash pile. My friend Dofter was here the past 2 weekends. He left me a cookie box, which is literally a metal tin box that Italian cookies come in for when he and his wife went to Vegas, and it's perfect for holding comic books. So put that down there. Oh, that's who this was. BoogieBot Comics. I know what this is. That tape did not stick. Now I know what it is. This could be really cool. Packing slip. Yeah. Oh. Oh, nice. Headache saved. I gotta send him a message now and tell him I opened this. It's Robert, the bounty. Robert the Robot from BoogieBot Comics. Oh, this is cool. Came with some extras. Get to that in a minute. So what do we got here? Oh, he put the tape on non-diagonally. Yep, the tape split. Dang it. Oops. By the way, when that happens, I do know you can hear it in the microphone, so sorry about that. Hey, J. Ryan. Yes, I have been looking forward to this for a very long time. I believe the original campaign was when I was on Bancroft's channel. And we talked about having him on or not or whatnot. Oh, it's real and it's in my hand. Oh, hey. You have the little photo. This has an interesting surface to it. That just looks like gloss to you, but it has kind of a matte texture. So that's cool. That was tucked in there. Okay, I'm not going to be able to read all that on the stream. I will stumble way too much, and I'm going to be reading something later. You know what, Guilty Gearhead, thank you for changing your mind so we could all look at this. Instead of being outvoted. This had such a particular style to it. This one was the big promo that he showed all the time. So I'm going to flip through like half of this. Yeah, that photo, it's like a family photo. That is so cool. Guilty Garrett says he loves the photo. You know, I like it almost more than the images on my computer screen, how they looked. I see a lot of use of Dutone in the back here, but it's not. It doesn't have a moire effect to it, so that's good. He avoided that. If you don't know what that Dutone is, all the little dots that you use for shading. If people don't know, and then moire is when two grids overlap and it makes stripes and stuff that aren't actually there. So here we go. Okay, he's got the little crease where it should be, and then like most of these, the first page is glued to the cover, and that tends to separate the first and second pages pretty severely. And a lot of books come like that. Oh, signed it too, of course. 3 chapters. All right, where was I? A few pages in. Just pick a page. Hey, Felix. Felix, I was mentioning earlier in the stream, I have a whole bunch of links in the description. So if you want to look for any that you might not have already, please look at the description. Hail and bow. Everybody's saying hello. Cool. This is cool. Okay. Journal entry here, December 1903 with the photo. Okay, I'm going to look at maybe 2 more pages, and then is that Keanu Reeves? No, it's not. 2 more pages, and I'm going to flip to the black and white. Same. Clint Eastwood, at least upside down. A lot of red and death. Okay. Let's take a look at the black and white version. Let's see, by Jose Rosendo Ramirez. See, I didn't remember his real name when this came out, but Boogiebot Comics. Okay. Can I do it? Try the pinky this time. There we go. Ha! I got it. Whoopsies. Grayscale. And you can see in the camera, I know camera still sucks. You can see the gray in there. That's all Dutone done there. So yeah, he's using the Dutone. Keep calling it Dutone. I may be using the wrong word. He's using the Dutone a bunch to give that gritty look. Here's about where we left off with Keanu Reeves right there. And here's the photograph in the story. Okay, so that's really cool when we get an artifact in the story like that. Not Clint Eastwood. And see, it's not just a black and white version. It's lettered. You can read it. I like this, like what Eric NINALTOWSKI puts out with his hardcovers. Hey, Dojo-kun. Yeah. It is amazing. I was really taken by this when I was on Bancroft's channel for a long time, or for like a year, and we were promoting this repeatedly. And he did it really well. Boogiebot came into people's chats and then just said hello to people, was nice, polite, stuff like that. And then eventually said, I'm working on a book, and, kind of worked his way up from there. Okay, chapter 3, The Bounty. I'm jumping a few pages at a time, by the way. Yeah, I can't wait to read this. Oh, man. I skipped to the end a little bit. I didn't want to show too much of the ending. So we've got some behind the scenes and extras. This is... Oh, here we go. Metal. flatten that out a bit for you. I love how I, my apologies to everybody. I keep trying to show a book and I'm like, here, look at this. And I'm holding it open. Anyway, this is really cool. I'm so happy this showed up. It came with some extras, so let's take a glance at those. Get them put away. Let's see, everybody's here. So Comics Mate is here. Dojo. Jay Ryan. Got the Gearheads here. Thanks everybody for showing up. I hope today is interesting. I'm going to try and summarize and not totally read you guys the books like normal. Hey, Crazy Mad. It's good. Always good to see your avatar. So we got Robert the Bounty by BoogieBot Comics. That's what we were looking at. And we're going to look at the extras now. Business card. Let's see what we got. It says, thank you for supporting me and my art. As an independent artist, this means everything to me. Boogie. Cool. Of course, no focus on this thing. But, that's the tape I don't like. We can just leave it aside. Looks like an ash can bookmark sticker patch. What we got? Come on out. There you go. Yeah, that's a sticker. So all nice and shiny. That's cool. I like his avatar. I really do. Bookmark. So sticker, same as the sticker on the one side, and Robert logo on the other. Then let me check my camera setting. I did set it to 720 before we started. Okay. Hope it's good. I don't want to do cataract theater again. I'll figure out what that is when I read it. Are these prints, posters, ash can? Let's put that there. Ah, these are small posters. All right, cool. See if I can get these. We're going to have to do the sideways thing. I don't want to tear the middle. Cool. What are these? These are, they look like 11 by 17. Could be wrong. No, it's 11. Yeah, it's 11 by 17. So that's nice. Cool. Hey, Felix, thanks for picking up the links from the description. And this one, I believe, is the cover. Sorry, volume 1. There it is. Hey, BoogieBot, thank you for coming through and delivering. It's good stuff. I hope creating a comic book hasn't destroyed your life like it has for so many people. That's neat. That is really cool. Having the photo in the book and then it's part of the book, you know, that's really cool. Moving on. Well, Jay Ryan, I'm glad you're here. Let's see what we got. Lots of links. Jay Ryan, I'm glad you're here. Instead of playing Tears of the Kingdom, because you can listen while you work, hopefully. Let's make sure that's close enough. There we go. If I'm too quiet, by the way, or too loud, let me know. You know, don't be afraid. I think the battery in my mixer is slowly dying. This could be the last show on this battery. Okay, now. Here we go. So we got one of these, and dim that down for a sec. There we go. So as you can see, I need to unhighlight. So what are we fighting about in the chat? J. Oh, it's one of these. Yep. Okay. Uh-huh. Well, it's good. It's good when you admit making a mistake. So, whoopsies. All right, so here's this one. I was just going to cut the label out, but it feels like there's a sheet. There's like some kind of sheet of paper here behind a whatchamacallit, a Gemini box. So this is Wulfsbane, which is in. Oops, sorry, hit the space bar, which is in the links for this are in the description. And it's the third book I'm going to talk about, which means I've read it already. So we're going to open this up and then later, so we don't go over it twice, look at it because I bought the PDF so I could review it. And it turns out I did want to review it. Okay, so what is that? Oops. There we are. Mysteries continue. So it did get a little bent over here and over there. Nothing too bad. Oh, I see. I think that looks familiar. Yeah. It's a print. That's cool. That will totally flatten out, no problem. It had it's a print with one of those soft touch coatings on it, so that's really nice. Okay, and we'll see in the PDF I have has this print inside. I didn't see the credit on it though. I don't know who that is. That little squiggle down there that my camera is not going to focus on. But yeah, this book is written by Aaron Jordan. There we go. Set the print aside. Whoops. Now I keep mixing up Aaron with another dude because I ordered 2 books from creator websites where there's a knife where they had to ask me like, are you okay waiting a month? One of them had to ask me, are you okay waiting a month because we have to get one of the books printed and stuff like that, and he's reprinting number 1s and all that. And I'm sure, not a problem. And then I keep thinking that's Aaron Jordan. No, this is Aaron Jordan's book. So I'm trying not to go insane, keeping everything straight. Packing slip. No packing slip. Okay, here we go. Okay. So here we are. Books. Pop these out so you can see them a little better without the glare. Oh, he's a tucker. He tucked it in. And I'm just going to do this real quick. If you watch my streams regularly, you know why. And what do we see? Do you review Ultrastar or buy any Johnny Phantasm stuff? I was not interested in Johnny Phantasm. The first campaign looked a lot like Pothead Chic, a style of artwork that has my own word for it, and nobody else calls it that. And it was like this angular form of somebody looking at Santeria and going, "Wow, that's really cool." If you don't know Santeria, look at the album cover for Jane's Addictions. It's not Aglio Olio. That's a Beastie Boys album. There's a, what is it? It's the third Jane's Addiction album. I forget what the title is, but if you get the non-censored cover of that, just look at all the artwork around. So no, I really didn't dig the artwork or anything like that. So this is another coated soft touch cover. Cool. And we'll get into this, but here's the inside cover, like that print. So see, this cover, it says, is by Bruno Tyler. I don't know who these people are. Like, all I know is Aaron Jordan, and that's it. Oh, and Thomas Mazel, whom I will have negative things to say about on my way to saying positive things. There's most of the artwork in here is really good, is good enough, and then really good. And then there's one example I want to show of something that's really bad, which I won't show right here. And then I will talk about the theme for the night, which is improvements. And then on top of that, there we go. That's a little bit easier to see. On top of that, it will be we're going to look at the campaign for number 2 of Wulfsbane, just because I want to show that it looks like the artwork has severely improved, I think. And I say severely only because of the one panel we're going to examine that is bad. Like the one panel, that's it. Or I guess you can't see my hand. One panel, one. Looks like I'm pointing at you. All right. I did some work for PTP. I did an Ultra Girl mini poster, and that has a velvet fielded paper too. Nice. Now, this one I liked. I think he had run out of the one with the green background and the clouds in the back of the green one, which I also really liked. I think those ones were they're different, and since he didn't have that one, I wanted to get 2 different covers. I grabbed this one, which I also was cool with. So there we are. The normal cover for number 1 is the 2 detectives. I don't know what else to call them. Standing in the front over a body, and a shadow on a wall behind them. In the black of the shadow makes out bricks. I'll show you that later. So you did some work for PTP. Nice, man. That's really cool. All right, so again, this probably has that same print inside the cover. Yep. And the back cover, a little synopsis. The town of Bancroft. Uh-oh. Is Mo here yet? Okay, good. When you said that, it reminded you of the feel of the poster. Yep. Did you just say those ones? Maybe I did, but I don't remember where I said it. It wasn't in reference to people, but anyway, because when you just say those ones out of context, it's like, wait, is that a racist thing? So anyway, you said that, it reminded me of the feel of the poster. Yep. The town of Bancroft, yeah, scary, is a place of both mundanity and noteworthy events. On the surface, not much goes on throughout its streets, but never put "but" at the beginning of a sentence. But the core of it is shrouded in the supernatural. On a dark and cold night, 2 detectives who have lived their lives are thrusted. I think it's are thrust. Trusted? I don't know. Are thrust past the veil. What they say, that might be one of those disagreeable things. Both are valid in English. But anyway, what they see and do will change how they see themselves, their loved ones, and of course, the world they live in. We'll get to that. Oh, yeah. So we can all look at the pretty art for a moment. Yeah. Thirsty tonight. Okay, just don't spill on the books. What's a Bancroft? Apparently it's a town in fictional America, and hopefully nothing more. So, anyway, I'm so funny. Oh yeah, this is a short book. It's 21 pages, so real short. And the whole thing about floppies need to accomplish certain things, or sorry, books sold as a unit need to accomplish certain things for storytelling, but you can't accomplish everything. I think this one passed that test. What did it accomplish? We'll get to. So tonight I'm going to start with Vestri. So, oops, got to put the other one away. All right, so this is going to be a little bit awkward. Last time I used PDFs to review anything, it turned into, here we go, I can do this one. It turned into a problem of me not being able to see the chat real well. So I have to do some resizing. Present, screen share. Let me do some resizing here. Add that one in. There we go. And so this is an original scan of an original page. Click here. There we go. From Vestri. This is some of Jakub Shabby J, some of his earliest art. And he showed this. Now this guy, he works hard. He works really hard. Okay. So can I still see the screen? There we are. This is going to be really weird because I have to move things around so that I can still see all you guys, and it makes it split over my 2 screens. I can't see the chat. Oops. Pardon me a minute. I'm having trouble with my Windows. Trouble with Windows. Who would have thought? Anyway, got that. All right, we're back. So this is one of his earliest pages that he showed. And there's our hero Damon coming in the window to speak to I don't even know whom. If Jacob was here, he'd hate that I said that. Wait. Where are all the stairs? We're going to look at the issues of Vestri later, and we'll get to that. I'm not able to interact with with Jacob as much as I would like, but I do try to promote him a bit, which is, I think, why he posted this one. Was I was telling him his early art wasn't so bad, and he's like, "Look, this is my first page." So, and I can't tell here if he's landing on the ground or running down the side of the building, but there we are. So the ones he also posted that were early on, where I was thinking, he's not nearly as bad as he might say. It's a good thing Mo's not here, because I almost clicked like right there and Mo would say something about it. But anyway, he's learning, and you can see where he's trying to fill in blacks, use a lot of blacks and highlights. All the skills are there. It's just how well and how fast can he do them? That's the question. And I don't know how to say his last name. Šebesta? But the little mark over the S, I have no idea what it is. So Šebesta? But yeah, he's got his anatomy down. I thought, well, this is way better than I could ever do. It's one of those. And why he thinks that this is not as great as what he does now is like probably the face has changed a little. His beard is fluffier. Not a big deal. Moving on. So we got another one, and I remember pointing out to him in a tweet or whatever, pardon this quick scroll, that this face looks pretty good. And then I noticed there's a lot of problems in this face that I think he's outgrown. So draw a midline right down the nose, and you see how the chin is totally over there. But it's not just the chin. It's like, because you can move your chin to the sides. It's no big deal. You can cock your chin, and who cares? It's that also the cheekbones are uneven. Like the longer you look at it, the more you find there are troubles. So at first glance, it's like, I see a square head and eyes, and yeah, okay, fine, whatever. But then you go, no, okay. Now I see what he's talking about. He has grown as an artist, which is something we're going to hit on a lot later. And I think he does his own coloring too. So here we are. Oops. He's getting good at drawing. Whoa, I should not have scrolled. There we go. He's getting, pardon me a sec. There. He's getting really good at drawing these little towns. So there you are, Jay. It's a ladder. Now these were something he tweeted out, so nothing. I'm not somebody special here. Just taking a look. Okay, so what's the next file? Oh yeah. Okay. So when I first this is a page we're going to see later in the main book. Right there. So this looks like an early pencil of that page of Damon waking up in the morning, getting his gear on. I gotta flip back. If I click this, I think it'll go to the right place. There we are. So he had a little short comic out ahead of time for Vestri, and written by Matthew Mars, Sick Jimmy, I don't know who that is, or Slick Jimmy, Matt Cantor, wait a minute. There, now it's easier to read. Yeah, Matt Cantor, and lettered by Kinsey Blonde. I think he's doing his own coloring. And this little book told a little story, and it's a nice background. And so this actually is an origin of how he came to be. So he's some kind of slave. How he got there, don't know. He's being put to work and, of course, mistreated. Wakes up with a knife. Why does he have a knife if he's in prison? No, he's looking out the window. Anyway, but he's not in prison. And I can see here where like the forearms are disproportionately skinny and stuff like that. So, Slick Jimmy. Oh no, he got arrested. Oh, let me see real quick. Whoops. I just screwed myself up. There we go. Did that really say Slick Jimmy? Did it again. Yes, it did. Oh man, that's sad. I wouldn't want to work with him. Behind Little Girl Lethal. That, yeah. Did not back that book. Okay. So I don't know what he wrote that's in here, but sketchy. So he's waking up from a memory of being in whatever situation that was. Looks out the window, heads down for the day. See the ladder here? We saw an earlier version of this page before where that ladder was less defined, I think. So there's some pencils. He's a mercenary. Picks up some work. It's funny. I think this is Croatian or some kind of Slavic language. And in picking up work, that's where he comes across his wife. If a woman is sitting at a bar, get that off there. Sorry about that. Sitting at a bar, sitting like this and looking at you. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so she thinks it's going to be fun to go with him on this mercenary job, which is just lots of violence. And he meets these two characters. I have to reread this and figure out if these two characters are early versions of characters who come up later. They may or may not be. Don't know. But this is how he meets his woman, his wife, we'll say. So just storytelling. Don't actually know what the story is here because I read it so long ago I can't remember. And he is tormented by memories and dreams. We get that much. The end for now. Okay, so the quality of artwork. Let's pick a page. I should just pick a page, not one where they're having sex. Okay, quality of artwork here. I think he did his own coloring. And I know I'm zooming in way too far. In some of his original Vestri work, he had pages upon pages of battle in a tower, and it was just endless stairs. Oh, yeah. That made it into the later books. Okay. But I was looking at how the color, as a colorist, he's using gray to shade over here, and yet notice how his cross hatching is just lines. And these lines, they don't always. I mean, here's the so-called horseshoe that defines a tricep. And any of you who know Jakub, it seems like some of you do, know that he's into weightlifting and wants to do strongman stuff and things like that. And he's got his anatomy down. I mean, this guy's got a 20-pack, so that's definitely anatomically accurate to have a 20-pack. But no, there are people who do have up to like 10. It's very rare, but 10 because of having 9 what they call semi-tendinous inscriptions across there. Okay, cool. Hey, I really appreciate you posting all these, Felix. So it's like certain things. One of the things that will improve over time is his shapes, the way he shapes everything. And another thing he does is the black and white version of some of this little shading in here, I think is good. And even as a colorist back then, he's still, using the gray in there. So let's see. What else have I got? I want to double check my files before I close this out. Okay, cool. So I'm going to switch windows. Open up number 1. All right, cool. Now I'm going to, as you've probably heard me do before, I'm just going to summarize as I go with the story, and then we're going to look at artwork a little bit. So present. Wrong one. Stop that screen. Whoa. Clicking in wrong places. All right, let me resize this, clean up my screen a little bit. Oh, it's not sharing. Whoa, that's wrong. Wrong one. Here we go. Get that out there. Lots of stuff. Okay. So how can I make this look better? I guess we're going to do full pages for a little bit. So here in the book, and over here, I'm going to show you guys the book. So there was a mix-up somewhere. Oops, forgot to show something else. Huh. That'll be later. There was a mix-up somewhere, but when I first got Vestri, it was the first edition. And you have a first edition because when you open the book, you see the map. This is half of the map. This is the second edition because page 1 of a PDF is not page 1 of a book. But you got I'm clicking in the wrong spot. You got the cover, outside cover, inside cover, and then the next page should be the map, but it's not. So this is first edition. Second edition changes to what you see in the PDF. So this map is in the first edition for where that page should be, and then you go on from there. The second edition, this map covers the back of the inside cover back here. So to look at the map, you kind of have to do this. And then all the pages are shuffled back by 1 step. And He also changed this piece of artwork, so let's embiggen me a little bit. Is that the one? Yeah, there we go. He changed this page because he really liked the one in the PDF better. So this is a first edition book. I like the cover. It's got a nice cardstock. I think they all do. The second edition of number 1 has a more floppy cover, and on the back you can tell the shard of the crystal here is a little bit lighter in color. It's more pink than purple. But the other thing I like about the first edition is the page changes. So let's unshare that for a moment. So that failed. Okay, I gotta go reload that. But here you see him thwacking, and then he's saying no survivors. Come on down. They're working their way. There are the stairs. The stairs have survived. And then here he's saying you will die, brute. Again, we need a comma. You will die, comma, brute. When you're screaming at a barbarian, make sure you get your grammar correct, because they can hear the comma and they know when it's missing. Anyway, moving on. You get the page turn, and that's where he's dead, and Damon is moving on to say insect. This is a slight difference from what we saw before in the original sketches. So, he's redrawing things. The boots are still right there, but he's not against reworking and growing as an artist. I think that's his big strength. So before I forget to say it later, I'll just say it now. One of the reasons I back certain campaigns where you could look at them and say, it needs improvement, is I want to encourage people to keep going. They can't keep going if their campaign fails. And the problem is sometimes giving somebody money to say, I want your product, tells them you're good enough as you are. But normal people should want to improve, because especially if they're looking at their own art and saying, I know I grow over time, we're going to want to improve. So backing a campaign because I see potential in it, and I see, potential in the story, potential in the art, but potential in the creators to grow. That's what's going on. And I think I won the gamble on Jakub, as we're looking here. Also, so back to page turns and whatnot. We're beginning his day. That's fine. We have this scene over 2 pages. He's leaving his wife in the bed. In this scene over 2 pages, by the way, that's a goblin head. The scene ends here. We turn the page. We're in a new scene. It all works. In the second edition, everything's off by 1 page, and so the page turns don't work. Which one do I have here? Oh, yeah. Okay, so there was some kind of mix-up. Wait a minute. Second edition. There we go. You can't see it. There's glare, but it's right there. So there was some kind of mix-up when I rebacked the campaign another time, and I was supposed to get like an alternate cover with the second edition, and then whoever fulfilled it, there was a mix-up, and instead I got a first edition again and a second edition. So accidents happen. Here we go. So here, this is not a cardstock cover. It's a little bit floppier. It's the one you see in the PDF. And so the scenes, this makes sense as a scene. This kind of makes sense as a scene. But then, here, the scene from the previous page continues here, but there's no big reveal or anything like that going on. Here's his travel scenes, and this kind of makes sense because he arrives. So it can work, but I still like the first one better. And then here it starts to work because he's in here. Here in the battle scene, this would work if both of these were in the same double page spread to start there. Because here we have 2 sets of even pages, and then we move on to where he's burning the creatures. Yeah, this one works. So I say, hey, it doesn't work, and then I find all these places where it does work. But anyway, as he's finishing this, of course, I think these 2 pages would go to flow together better when you read it in the first edition. He gets to here at the end, and he sees a glow. And then down this page, he investigates the glow. So that's an okay page turn, but not great. But after this point, we have this as the final reveal. I don't like when books do that, where you're turning the page here and you see the final reveal, and then you have to read all this first. So that's why I have my my opinions the way they are. Anyway, so let's see. I remember seeing many pages of stairs leading up to the castle back in the day. I do too. I don't know where those images are now. So before he kills that guy post stairs, he cut it down a lot. Yeah, I remember seeing a pre-version of this. I don't know where my images are, but there were a lot more stairs in it. So, I thought I saved and archived a bunch of images. So, all right, set that aside. That's number 2. Or sorry, that's number 1. And kind of nicely, I am the proud owner of an original of Damon squatting on an invisible stool. So, oh, a little too bright. Where is it? There. Oh, turn off the light. Yep. So apparently he did a bunch of these, and I got, I think, number 5. Yeah, it's number 5. So I feel honored. Oops. Oh, the curse of the tape. We're good. Let me put number 1 aside. Second edition extra. Something like that. Before I do, I want to check my sticky notes. Okay, goblin on the ceiling yelling meat. And why is this one on the map? Oh, because I wanted to read that. All right. So let's get to that. Back to the share. Window. Stream. Okay. So we're, whoops. Got to change this around. There we go. The lost art of the page turn reveal. Yeah, it is. All right, so we're looking at Damon here. We don't know his name yet. And he's whacking through things, which I just showed you. And I should stop clicking on that window and actually go to this window. So whacking through stuff. I wonder if I just did it like so. Oh. Make this work. There we go. And would it improve? How can I improve this? Nope, that's not helping. There we go. Okay, so he's whacking through people. We just saw that. Goes up the stairs, kills the guy. And I no longer have my controls. Hey, Edwin. Glad you could make it. Is that next page? Yes. Waking up in the morning. So he's a mercenary, and he gets a summons of all things. I know we can't read this at that scale. I went through and made notes earlier. He gets a summons. Oh, let me see. Let me actually look at my notes. Okay, cool. So with his summons, he's going for work. Alamander, steward of the king. So Alamander like salamander without an L or without an S. Rather than sacrifice the king's men, he hires mercenaries. I said merchant. He's a mercenary. Mercenaries to take care of bandits, monsters, and vermin. Again, I think this might be not Celtic, Croatian, which would be really cool if it is to see, you know, that looks a little, it's this word right here. I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of words I've seen in Polish because I'm Polish. I have Polish in my background. In fact, I have Middle Eastern in my background, which I think came through Polish or through Poland. And I say that only because everybody thinks I'm Iranian. You know, when I get dark, in fact, when I was a little kid and I got way dark and cut my hair real short, people thought I was black. It was hilarious. Yes, I've been called racial slurs before, so, and not just Polak. But anyway, let's see what that says. Bloody ballot bounty says link is invalid. Oh, okay, that's good to know. I will get that fixed later if I can. Let me double check which one that is. We got Bad Beaver. Okay, Bloody Bounty is invalid. I'm gonna have to check that later. I can't find it right now. I can't fix it right now. So, but thanks for the word, Guilty Gearhead. There we go. Why is okay? Where was I? Oh yeah. So this I used to be really dark as a kid. We found a childhood photograph of my grandmother with her siblings, and she's like really dark. So when I went to what's it called? Ukraine. People there thought I was Iranian. See, I thought it was just weirdo Americans thinking I'm Iranian, and they don't know what Iranians look like, or Persians, I should say, look like. And then when I went to Ukraine, they know what Persians look like. So I was going, what? but yeah, I could see the childhood darkness through my grandmother on the Polish side, and then a couple of my siblings and I got really dark when we were kids. So anyway, my mom's really big into Polish stuff, and I grew up Głąbki and with names like Fitzkiewicz and whatnot. That might be gibberish, but anyway, this just reminds me of Polish, and I wonder if this is actually written in Croatian. So I can't read it. Anyway, he comes in, gets his assignment for his mercenary duties, scroll, leaves for his mercenary duties. Hey, this is paginated the way I wanted. Cool. Oh, because the cover on the front counts as the first page. Right. Okay. So, and here in the map on that part, I wanted to read that he's being sent on a mission, and it's the city of death. Okay. Not many can say that they have traveled to the ancient city of death. The atrocities we committed made sure of that. So I like how we're being given little hints that, and I don't know who the narrator is. By this, it seems like it's all Damon, and there's nothing to contradict that. So when he says we made sure of that, we're getting little bits of the character at a time. So the character's laid out real nicely. I like how he's doing that. And let's see. He travels, he goes climbing through, he finds the ancient city, gets inside. His assignment is to kill off some vermin. And that's basically it. It's real simple. And I love how the goblins here, their whole language is just meat. That's all they say. You can see it as he's fighting them off. The only thing they say is meat. So it's beautiful. So here we are. As he fights them off, he does get bitten. We see him using potions to make himself give himself more vigor and whatnot. He uses one of the potions to help him light a fire, burn everyone out. The mother goblin comes out. So I like the balance here between we get some story, we get some plot events, I should say. You're being sent. Okay, plot event. We get some characterization by being able to see his thoughts as he goes. The characterization helps tell us about the world, so that's good writing. So Pickle Nachos or whatever his name is. Pickles, who goes by something Nachos on Twitter. He's got the balance here. He's the writer on this. And at this point, he gets bitten in the shoulder. He's really losing it, trying to fight off the mother goblin. So we get action. So we get other storytelling elements balanced with action. Really great. We can zip through this well enough. He says enough. And finally, we get to this point where he finds by accident this glowing shard, if you don't know the story. And he reaches out and touches it, gets a little zzz, and he says, I actually want to see what he says. It might just be like, what? Huh? It might be nothing. Yeah, it just says, huh? With a question mark. And then she pops out and says, run. So the whole thing here, let me get my notes. It's just a setup. Now, what we find out later is just he's being used. But we were told that in a way. He's not being used like we would normally say about people getting used. He's a mercenary. They use mercenaries to clean out vermin and whatnot, but they're not telling him what they really want because he's not supposed to know. It's all secret. And there is a much bigger plot. So I'm glad I stuck with this book because the plot gets so much better as we go along. I see the chat's moving. What do we got? Yeah, the pickle guy wasn't around, so likely he cut down on all the stairs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. New writer comes in, fixes a few things. By the way, before we go to number 2, I have a weird habit. So, and this is weird, because a lot of my books that I have, I use the double-sided board, so I get two books in one sleeve with like that. And if I have like a nice copy and a reader copy, this is the reader copy, then the nice copy goes in the front and the reader copy goes in the back. But when I just stack individual books like this, the reader copy goes in the front and the nice copy for archive goes in the back. I don't know why. It's not that I think you care. It's that to me, this is just really funny and stupid. So anyway, and then of course we get a little bit of bonus material and wrong window. And then the back inside cover, etc. And the back cover. So this is the back inside cover now. These are the last 2 opposite side pages. I don't know why it works. So with every copy of, I'm going to rearrange this. like this. Yeah. With every issue of Vestri, there's a not a tidal wave. Why am I thinking of that? Ashcan. There's an Ashcan. This one's a short one. It's just 8 pages. If you go to the links in the description where it says you can buy these, the buy books PDF under Anvil Comics, Jakub Šebesta. Anyway, they're all PDFs, and it says this one's 10 pages. It's actually 8, just a little typo. The rest of them are all 10 because they use the inside covers. But these stories, they're usually him running around doing some other adventure to beat something up. He finds out about some problem or injustice going on, and then he has to fight some giant creature, monster, or horrible thing to end the terror that's happening to people so they can have peaceful lives. And in these, we do find out a little bit about his character. They're not totally necessary to learn his character, but we find out more his sense of justice, his stoicism, how he's keeping distant from everybody for whatever reason. He's had a very hard life. Now, I have not read the 4th Ashcan yet, where it talks about him being a little kid. I think you can still enjoy the story without reading these, but there's that. So now I'm going to more quickly blow through a couple more issues. And I didn't really get a good flip through on number 4 yet. There we go, to show you that one. So let's see. In this, I need to go. Here's number 2, and get this where I can work it. Close that. There we go. That looks better. So we're going to take a peek again. The map. Taking a peek at this. Oh yeah, the history was something I wanted to read you, just so we get more of the story. So here's number 2. So we go, and I'm just going to give you a little history. The purple chick is narrating. So here we go. 500 years ago, Omradel. There we go. 500 years ago, Omradel was the beauty of the realm. I'm going to read quickly. Humans and elves lived in peace. The elven mages shielded us. All right, so she's an elf. Shielded us from otherworldly creatures. The humans were foot soldiers. The mages weren't powerful enough to keep every threat away. My father, King Arius, was the most powerful of the mages. He would have done anything to keep the people safe. So I got to remember to flip for you guys. See, now these are all cut badly for the PDF because, anyway, I don't know why it's not working right, but yeah, because the page count, because of that thing right there. Okay, so here's the king being all noble. Anyway, he would have done anything to keep the people safe, and then we discovered them. And there's a dude down here in the corner holding the box with the purple in it. Them. Huh. Okay, and this changed everything. Errorite. Wow, almost mispronounced. By the way, I do need glasses. Errorite, my father humbly named the discovery after himself. The elves thrived from this discovery. Gotta click. There you go. The elves thrived from this discovery. It made them more powerful. We didn't need the human foot soldiers anymore. To be honest, we didn't need humans. They weren't welcome anymore. They had to settle elsewhere or face poverty. And then 10 years ago, and it shows the little story of Princess, get in here. We're taking you to the king. The wretched humans will all be gone shortly. And then, hey, Mo Biggs, good to see you. And then, whoops. For some reason, I thought it was BORORK, not BORORK. Yeah, it's like gargling. BORORK. That's the book coming up for Clayton Barton. So, how you doing, Mo Biggs? I hope you're well. Okay, so he's taking her out. Will you please tell me what's happening? Father, what's happening? The kingdom needs you now. The wretched humans will be gone. I don't understand. Why are the humans silent? And he smacks his own daughter down and then like rips her purple little soul out of her body. Whoops, next page. You can't see that. There you go. So he's pulling her out, and then we jump to current time. So she just told Damon, run. Her name is Elle, by the way, E-L-L-E. She's just told Damon, run, like, get out of here. And there's this other creature, which apparently has magical properties, coming out from the same place she did, etc. She helps him fight it off. He breaks his axe on it, so that's going to wound his pride pretty badly. She's yelling at him, get up, human. She's able to tell the thing to stop, slow it down, and then he jumps. Now, your body cannot survive a fall from that height, especially if you don't land feet first. So the old divers who used to stunt dive off of bridges, they and it's actually related to getting people to jump out of buildings onto firefighting nets where they would catch people outside of a building. So people started, stunt divers would do that to show people it worked, and then they got their own followings, but whatever. I just learned that. I forget where I learned that the other day. Doing great, thanks. How's it going for you, Blue? It's going okay. I hope my head's together and I don't over talk this very lengthy stream today on this book, because I've already talked a bunch. So, yeah, he's fallen in the water. There's no way to survive that, by the way. Your internal organs get crushed from that height. It's terrible. So, you can get off the Brooklyn Bridge, but your feet got to go in first. So, and I don't want anybody testing that. So here, they're in some other realm now. It looks like they're in the forest, but... Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're not in the dream realm. Sorry, I'm mixing up my books. Whoop, reading too many books. So he's sitting on the tree. His bones would be broken, by the way. It's terrible. But he was knocked out, so she explains that she entered his body and took him over to drag him aside, and that thing is coming. So that thing that they ran away from is going to come follow them down and hunt them down. So she offers to jump into him because it would give him more powers. But for some reason, she needs his name over and over again in these adventure books. Like Lloyd Alexander's The Black Cauldron and other stuff, there's always something involved in magic about knowing someone's name, that it somehow, and this is a real world superstition, that it gives you authority over them. That could just be psychological, and as opposed to metaphysical. But I do see it pop up repeatedly in fantasy stories. Put the books away. So that pops up, and he says his name is Damon, and he's all like jacked out at that point. So he's fighting this creature with her inside him to get extra power. He blows through the power way too fast and almost doesn't win. So a lot of fight pacing the way you would normally see in most books. Most movies have this same little roller coaster pacing to it, where there's the weakness comes out right before the battle ends and stuff like that. So Pickles is doing his thing. Let's see. I am having trouble seeing the chat because I've got my window here. You guys are all, as long as you're all taken care of. I won't go through the other ash cans in detail or anything like that, but I will start to hurry through this. They talk a bit, and we get a few layers going on here. Down here, where she's coming through the wall after his wife slaps him. I say his wife, girlfriend, whatever, wife, slaps him. She says, "Oh, I assume you two know each other." And she's saying, "I've missed you so much, you thick oaf. Mind explaining the tooth?" Actually, that's a typo. Hold on. Oh yeah, the big tooth. He grabbed the big tooth from the monster because the monster broke his axe. So it's like, you took something from me, I'm going to take something from you. But is that in the book? Yeah, there's a typo on tooth. Okay, it happens. So the H and the T are reversed. Whatever. But first, as he's reporting back in debriefing, we get the idea. It's not explicit yet that Alamander can't see her, and he can't. So that's weird. There's some things that we're left as the audience to figure out as we go along that I think would have come out naturally. And drawing by Sashi on the back, would have come out naturally in conversation as they're traveling home. So, because he said to her on the previous page, "We're traveling home." There we go. Get in there. And where are we? All right, so he's debriefing, and Alamander asks him, "Did you kill all the vermin?" "Yeah." "And then there was nothing else, right?" So wrong. There was. I put these in the wrong order. There was something else, but he just says, "Hmm," and that's his line. HM. Hmm. He just grunts at people. I think as we get into the character, you can say, well, I'm not really fond of characters who are just egotistical jerks, but sometimes there's a reason to be quieter, and he's on that balance between having a sense of justice and doing, working and doing one's duty on one side. There we go. And on the other side, he kind of just grunts at people. So, which is it and where is it going? Sorry, I'm turning away from my microphone. Shouldn't do that. But so he's not hateable. He's still likable, which is kind of odd to me. That normally, there we go, where I meet people who just enjoy playing the stoic thing way too much, they're not too likable. Okay, so Okay, so now, so now it's okay to hate on egotistical jerks? Yes. Yes, you are being targeted, Mo. And so am I. So anyway, next, I like how Pickles builds the story a little bit at a time. So each book follows kind of a pattern, the one I pointed out in the first issue, where you get most of your dialogue in the build-up in the front. Actually, sorry, forgot to do this. Jump ahead. I think this is just a preview. Close that one out. Yeah, it's just a preview. I didn't find the right PDF for number 3. But you get most of your dialogue to build up the situation up front, and then after that, you get all the action and fighting to get somewhere. So here's Damon. I have a friend who's a blacksmith, and so when I see blacksmiths and things, it's like, cool, I know my buddy likes that. So here he is working his blacksmith thingy. But what we get here, this is just creepy. Let me see if I can make that wider. No, not like that. Fit width. All right, that's better. So here's our cover. Oh, yeah, doing it that way. Here's our cover. There she is in the crystal, which is somehow related to her entrapment. And in this castle, the Elf King is visiting with Alamander and torturing him because between issues is a week, and they have figured out that the crystal they wanted isn't there. So you can fill in the blanks real easily on what had to happen. Is whom did you send to clean it out, because he's suspect number 1 for the crystal missing. But this poor soldier right back here, see those shadows behind him, and then he's just getting sneaked up upon by this thing, and the shadows overtake him and transform him into this monster. So this is just dark and evil at this point. Like, whoa, oh, that's bad. Meanwhile, at Damon's house, where everything's happy, he's doing his blacksmithy stuff. So let us take that down. Unshare. Stop screen. Okay. So the story follows the same pattern. And Alamander, when he comes over with men and the beast to get the crystal, at this point, where is he? Oh, there it is. At this point, Damon is wearing it around his neck. Now, strangely, I thought it was bigger than that. So it's not like he broke it down or anything or whatnot, but they want the crystal and everything starts to go wrong. So another big egotistical jerk move is he senses he understands the danger of the soldiers outside, and Alamander is trying to scold him and berate him and manipulate, like, haha, I'm so powerful, and it doesn't work. So he just goes after them because he knows they're a threat and takes them out and starts fighting them. But he's not going to win against the beast. And the floaty chick, he's doing this thing of, I can handle it on my own. His pride has been wounded in the prior issues. It's the only thing that makes sense to me is he's trying to make up for his pride being wounded by being kind of defeated by the beast and not being able to handle it on his own. So now he's overbearingly going the other direction. So don't be a jerk. Anyway, surprisingly, and I think quite humorously, the two ladies team up. She jumps into the wife and they help to defeat this beast. And then really cute, I think it's really cute at the end. The wife is talking, and you could see our purple lady, her comments in black background here. The wife is talking. Of course, they've just defeated something together, so they're all getting into each other. And she's like, I don't need to be here for this. So, of course, imagine trying to explain to your wife, hey, there's this invisible naked chick who glows purple following me around. You cool with that? So they torture some information out of him, and this is where some of my quick review to try and prepare for the stream gets a little blurry. They do torture some information out of him, end up killing him, and there's more political intrigue going on, because what's really happening that I can tell you for issue 4 without spoiling too much is the elf wants his princess daughter back to get power from her so he can become some kind of magical god. Whatever they found in the purple crystals has completely corrupted him. And then towards the end, we get to see they're looking up different monsters and beasts and whatever that they find for reasons that I forget at the moment. And then they run into an old friend who tells him, get out. Issue 4 picks up from there. They fight the friend a bit and pick up a team and figure out that they need to go meet this guy. And then from there, the story ensues. And so notice how I'm spoiling less of the intrigue because I didn't want to. So our story flows from there. They're going up against the Elf King, and there is a beast from the void. Notice this is a void creature, and he's got black in his eyes and all that. That's where the story goes leading up to the final. So I was not able to get the time to finish reading number 5, which I have the PDF of. So what I'd like to do to get back to the artwork thing is share with you a little bit of number 5, but not enough to spoil anything. So let's see, I gotta open it. So you're all getting a preview. This was sent to me for review purposes because I was being friendly, I guess. And I want to focus on the artwork. Oops, I gotta share, present. Okay, there we go. Add to stream. All right. So I'm going to make this a little bigger, which makes, or sorry, that's the wrong way to do it. Fit width. Actually, you know what? I can get rid of this too. All right. So Jakub's artwork here, I think, has matured. He still has his anatomy in place. That's there. The way he's doing his shading, though, has a little more crosshatch in it and less just 2 lines over everything. So instead of trying to give things texture by just drawing lines on them to make them gritty, I think he's improving. There's still lines here. This is an older drawing that's in this book, by the way. So I assume he's doing colors. But here, you know, the hair isn't overdone the way a lot of hair people do hair, and it looks like just tons and tons of straw. But his hair flows a bit, you know. It looks a little dry. She needs conditioner. Alessandra is her name. So this is the story of the princess. And I think he's doing a lot, you know, better with clothing and the little folds in clothing and stuff, letting muscles show through the clothing a little bit. He's doing that. I believe he's maturing as an artist, and this is why I back people. Landscape. There's your stairs. We missed the stairs. I think I have another comment. At least the art doesn't need to mature drastically as Plato. Yes, we're not maturing to the point of immaturity. Oh, that was really bad. So it's not a huge difference, but sometimes when I flip back to the old stuff, I can kind of see it. So his coloring, of course, makes her look very round in all the right places. Oh, one thing in this world, apparently, as soon as you get magical powers, you lose your nipples. So we'll see that on Damon later. See, no nipples. What's going on here? I'm totally kidding. This is the panel I wanted to pick on, or a panel I wanted to pick on right here. See if I can. Yeah. So just for example, he's got all of his little bumps and shades in the right places. He's using a little more crosshatch and less just single lines. It's still not very fine. This is still difficult to draw because right there should be this tiny little gap, and I can see it. It's like 10 pixels wide right here. So, okay, Nipplegate. You know, I don't know the origins of Nipplegate. That was during my hiatus. Same thing happened when she got her powers in the Lucent. Mm-hmm. Now that's Ella. This is Elle with an E. So thankfully these are two different characters, or I would accuse Bancroft of stealing a character from what do I have on from Vestri. So I did look up a couple of the monsters in Vestri to see if they were real. I couldn't find them. I once saw I saw one on the little purple chick. It looks like a little nub. Yeah, it was in profile, but I was making fun of the fact that we don't see them, you know, from headlight view. So, anyway, he's doing a little bit more of the coloring with shading. He still has his lines, but he's leaving more space, I think, in between things, and not relying totally on the coloring. You can do this in grayscale. So I want to say you can see some growth and maturity across the course of this book. He's also been asking a few times lately on Twitter, hey, does anybody need an artist? So if you're doing a book and you want a backup story of like up to 8 pages, maybe just to give him something to do to get his name out there, please consider looking at Jakub and hiring him. I think that would be awesome. So let's see. Oh yeah, here's another one right here. I like how this face on this little guy, whoops, wrong button. There we go. The face on this little guy is done. You know, the details are there, it's not overbearing with texture lines, but he's still doing some single lines down here and a few diagonal or a few crosswise there. Whoops. Oh, it hasn't come through yet. Does he work for exposure? As far as I know, he's not a stripper, so no. So, all right. Yeah, if you got something like 4 to 8 pages long as a backup story, it'd be a great place to hire somebody. Anyway, I think he's improving is the point. Said it a few times. Again, no nipples. What happened? All right. So they're off on their adventure to go slay something. This book is huge. It's basically a double issue compared to the other ones. It's 56 pages. And yeah. Now, here's the unfortunate thing is this campaign is closed. I don't know what the future plans are for getting actual books out there, but there is a link in the description for buying the PDFs. And each PDF, I think each PDF comes with the PDF for the what do you call it? Ashcan. So there. That is everything I wanted to show off about this. Let's see. It's not come through yet. I'm just going to leave that there. Oh boy. All right, give me a moment, please. By the way, all right, where are we? Vermin went with what one? I'm missing an ash can. I think I've got this wrong. Yep, I misplaced an ash can. I know it's here somewhere. So, there it is. All right, this is the ash can about him being young. Oh yeah, there's a great print here. I should show that off. So let us remove. And this print from Alan, or is it Alan? Yeah, Alan Alonso came in. So cool stuff. All right, let me clean the table up. I don't want to just throw things aside like, I sometimes do. So we have good story, improving artwork, a guy who really cares about his craft. He's learning and growing. He's practicing. There are prior versions to everything. He believes in beautiful women, because why not? So we have an elf king who has fallen into evil and wants to abuse his daughter to regain power. And we don't know where it's going to go. Okay, so real quick, another one. The campaign is closed. I'm sorry, and I don't have PDFs for this, so it's just going to be a lot quicker. In fact, I'm really going to show off just number 1 and 2. But here's number 4. This is Hades talking to a dead person. Hades, as in the Greek god of death or of the underworld. This is who is this? I can't remember. I want to say he's one of the Asgardian gods, fighting off an assassin, and I will show you the assassin. He's the assassin in the thumbnail for this video. This is Aphrodite. So yeah, we're getting to Matt Ringel's Fallen. And this is another thing about giving people you don't know a chance, seeing if they've done prior campaigns, taking a look at those. There's a guy named Caleb Thirst. I'm giving him a chance on a campaign he just finished. He's got 1 through 3 out of something or other, and he's got a couple other books out too. So Matt Ringel as a writer is doing great. We've got Henry Ponciano, Henry Ponciano, and then Tobin Resicott as the letterer. Oh yeah, it's a perfect place to start is right here. Long ago, a group of gods were cast down from their ethereal realms, plural realms. It was not known how or why it came to be, but they found themselves on Earth, cut off from their divine power and their godly kin. Now, some of the gods didn't make it down, so Zeus made it down, but Hera did not, and they call it the Descent. Somewhere in the book, I think it was called the Descent. They walked in the world as immortals. The Olympians, Asgardians, Shinto, and Aztec gods maintain a tenuous alliance for many years before descending into conflict. Eventually, a ceasefire was reached and rules were set in place to prevent another conflict. One of the primary rules was that the gods could no longer directly influence the mortal world, but many found a workaround. Several gods chose wards, a human that they bestowed with vigor, and vigor is a godly power, even though it says they're cut off from their divine power. They still had it, but whatever the ultimate source was, they weren't feeding on it anymore. So anyway, bestowed with vigor, which grants immortality, so that the ward could do their bidding in the world without drawing attention to the gods. So they got envoys, is what it is. Hera refused to go down. I'm not saying that's why Zeus had a wandering eye, but she's not the only one from the Greek Olympian pantheon that didn't make it. So this is Zeus. They're in New York City. I think it's New York. That's an assassin. This is Athena. That is Thor. So we have an Asgardian on here. And this guy, I forget. I think that's Thor also, but I forget if I'm wrong. It's his brother. It might be Loki. So yeah, this could be Loki if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I forget. So anyway, that's the setup. So in a nightclub, they're finding out that there's a form of ambrosia that humans are taking and it's killing them because humans can barely stand ambrosia. So who's selling it to them? And they figure out it's got to be her brother, not Ares. Who is it? Oh, Apollo. So it's her brother Apollo. Zeus is pissed. He's calling a meeting. Here is one of his assistants. There's Zeus's assistant there. I like the artwork in this. I think the artwork hits it. It gets all the points it needs. It's not as spectacular in curvy little details and style, things that make it weird, where, say, Charlie Snogans has a style that's not realistic like this. Okay, so the artist here, Henry, he isn't using that kind of style. He's using a very straightforward, constructed style, and it works. The backgrounds are cloudy sky. Everything's at night. We got buildings for backgrounds. That works. All the perspectives line up. He knows what he's doing in a computer. Let's see what else. So we got Zeus coming up to his apartment. I'm sorry. This is funny. In the car, his envoy is trying to set up the meeting with Apollo, and Apollo's being a little whiner about it. So Zeus just yells at him over the phone, and he's like, "Yes, Dad." So, I will be there now. So they come up, they have their meeting, they're arguing. Now, because this is a family meeting, the envoy, whose name I forget right now, I should have written that one down. You know, I had notes for the other thing, but I forgot to write this down. Oh, I skipped one of my notes. Dang it. Yeah, here it is. So after the fight, after the argument, Apollo leaves, and his ward, they call him, is still out on the balcony drinking wine, listening. Apollo tells him off. You know, I'm done listening to this, leaves. And then you hear Zeus say, "Who the hell are you supposed to be?" Yeah, like that. And that is the murder going on right here. How do you murder a god? You need adamantum. So who can get their hands on adamantum? This isn't Wolverine. That's adamantium. But that's where Marvel Comics got their idea for adamantium, is coming from the mythical metal from Greek mythology. So, and his ward witnesses the murder and gets, by the shockwave of a god being killed, gets blown out into the water and somehow does not die. Okay, then we pick up with the Asgardians, who are sitting around, and they're seeing that there's some troubles. Here comes Thor. And wait, no, Thor, Loki. Got that wrong. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Loki, Thor, because I'm looking at it upside down. It's Loki, Thor, and Odin, who is really young and has neither nipples nor belly button. So I don't know what's going on. Well, gods don't have belly buttons because they weren't born. So anyway, they're doing their version of ambrosia, which starts with a Y. Can't find the name for it. Oh, Yudun. I think it's Yudun. Yeah, it's just their version of ambrosia from the other mythology. So, it turns out that Apollo and Loki and Thor are working together to illegally sell drugs that no one will let them. But this murder needs to be solved. We get political intrigue. Athena takes over the family because she was meant to. They're talking to Charion and trying to get information that way. They dismiss the ward, so he goes into being a private eye, but here he's being dismissed. He starts to work as a private eye. We see the murderer here reporting back. Okay, everything is set up in one book. That we have an event, intrigue, who the characters are, except that he doesn't have to do so much character building because they are from mythology. They're supposed to be already known. He does a little character building anyway. This is a well-written unit. You know, it wins. All right. So in number 2, and this is as far as I'm going to go is number 2. Don't worry. In number 2, we just get a little bit more of the intrigue going on. So the ward, who is supposed to be dead, because the ward should not survive when Zeus died. He is going around doing private eye work, and as a private detective, here we go. God should have belly buttons for the same reason men have nipples, so it doesn't look weird. Yes, it's not that hard, and they're gods. They can just give themselves belly buttons, and Anyway, so he's a private detective, and who comes to him but Aphrodite? And as he puts it later, I think in book 3, she's hard to say no to. She's great. And she lets on that she needs his services because the family's falling apart. Things are not going well. Meanwhile, the Asgardians are attacked by the assassin. We don't get to see who he is, but here he is with his spear on one side. And then we do see who he is at the end of book 4, which is why I'm not opening it. The moon on the other. And he has, in the middle of it, as we saw at the end of book 1, he has this little like bullet casing looking thing that maybe I didn't show that for long enough, just in case. So here you go. He's putting the bullet away. It's from the center of his staff that he's fighting with here. So whatever that is. So mysteries. And I am fine in book 1 with having a mystery set up. It's not a problem. I'm remembering somebody who hated that. Says everything has to be answered. It's a floppy. It's okay not to have everything answered in a floppy. Let's see. Not having nipples is a manga. Oh, that reminds. Okay, not having flipples is a thing in manga, isn't it? It always looks strange to me. Yeah, that reminds me. Mo Biggs, I wanted to tell you. You weren't here early enough, but I wanted to say good news. Unless the mystery package that I opened earlier has manga stuff in it, and it did not, this is a completely no manga stream. You should be so happy. So, you missed out so much on a zero manga stream. Anyway, so the Asgardians get attacked by they don't know who. Of course, it starts to create suspicions and pit people against each other. Meanwhile, the detective is getting warned, back off. So they bring in Nemesis. So Athena calls for Nemesis to get rid of the detective, or our detective, who is Zeus's old ward. And a funny thing happens. I might have to show it in book 3, but crossing the street, a homeless guy is saved by Hades. Yeah, right here. Good. I don't have to show book 3. This is a prior scene. Don't worry about it. But this homeless dude gets saved by Hades and overhears a part of the conversation between Hades and Hades' ward, to which he recognized, wait, Hades? So he starts worshiping Hades, which gives Hades power that he didn't have since since the descent, since they all came down. But he's worshiping Hades by killing people. So this is a big problem. So Hades goes to Zeus's old ward, now private detective, because he's good at finding things. Okay, so you've got Nemesis coming along, who's going to kill the private detective. Hades, who's now working with the private detective to figure out what's going on. This is a really cool book. I really enjoyed this. And there are 2 more issues. Now, I missed completely 2 more issues that are out. I totally missed the campaign for issue 5, but there may not have been a campaign for issue 5. I found on Kickstarter there was a campaign for issue 6. I've backed both of those. I almost titled this stream Incomplete Floppies because, I only just have the PDF for Vestri, and I wasn't able to fully read it, but I'm hooked in that story too. I'm hooked on this, and, 5 and 6 are in the mail somewhere or being printed or wherever they are. But it's another example of none of people's artwork improving. The artwork in here is great, but it's Matt Ringel really got passed over. And I remember contacting him. I'm just going to talk about my experience with this guy. I remember contacting him early on and saying, hey, I will tag you with CG and repeat you. This book looks really good. And he was like, I don't know anything about CG, so no, not relying on rumors or bad information or anything like that. It was just kind of I don't know enough about you. And when I looked it up, it's not great, so I don't know. And you're not going to stake your reputation on an unknown like that. So he's doing his own thing, independent comics, and it's totally good. So let's see, manga not having nipples. Won't surprise me. Something excellent. I forget what. And then unless you wait 2+ years, you get a cliffhanger ending. Yeah. This late books thing is just terrible. I mean, I'm a reader. I'm a consumer. I'm on YouTube to have fun with my hobby with whoever wants to show up in my streams or comment on my stuff. If you're a creator and you're spending 20 hours or more on YouTube a week and everyone's wondering why is the book taking too long, seriously, tighten up your act. You're not serving the customer. It's disingenuous. I liken it to not thievery, but it's so close, So I don't like the waiting 2 years for a book with, let's say, 48 pages. Let's see, 20 pages per month, and you got 48 pages. But if it's better art, then it's going to take longer. That's not always true. We got a lot of people just wasting time. There it is. ARO. Hey, you rejected me offering to write a story for ARO. Okay? I don't even remember my story premise anymore because it was so long ago. But you rejected my advances, Mo. I can't believe that. I'm so hurt. Anyway, no, I offered an Origin of ARO story, and you were like, nah. And I didn't even get to tell you what it was. You were just like, nope, don't want to hear it. It's like, oh. Let's see. Blue, I don't need a writer. I'm waiting for it to show up. Come on. There we go. Anyway, yeah, but I had a really cool story for ARO. Now I can't remember it. I would just tell it here on the stream if I could remember it. All right, a quick palate cleanser. We don't need to wait if it's 20 pages a month is normal for the industry, and we're getting 48-page books that take years to come out, something's wrong. It's, but the quality will be better because it takes longer. Not that much longer. So yeah, I sadly refunded Frega's book, which is unfortunate because I wanted to be supportive of Frega, etc. Maybe Wednesday on Dojo's stream, I don't know. Maybe I'll get to talk about Rob Willis, but he went through some really hard times, and now that Shinobi book is just jacked on schedule because of it. So I'm a little more forgiving with him. But I did want to show on the independent circuit, now we have another issue of problems. I get the Preston Acevedo covers of Exiled. I just wanted to show they are in the comic shop. You can order them specifically. And he has moved up from cover E on the early copies to like cover A on like issues 5 and 6. So Preston Acevedo is making his way up in the world. And yes, that really does look like Wesley Snipes, where inside the book when I was reading it, it did not really look like Wesley Snipes to me when I read the black and white pre-edition. So yeah. And then this is the Rob Willis. These are both issue 1. Rob Willis cover, pre-release version that I read in black and white. The sad thing here is, remember that thing about all the backers backed the thick hardcover copy, and now it's coming out in stores as floppies? I don't want this to play out badly. I really hope they're going to ship the hardcover before number 6 goes to the stores. I'm really hoping for that, because Adam Lawson is a good guy, and I'd hate to think that he got his deals out of order. So I hope he's not screwing up, or getting into a situation where he has to screw up. That would be really sad. I think people might get angry, and we just need to be patient, watch how it plays out. Don't get angry. All right. So anyway, oh yeah, and inside the book, the character didn't look like Wesley Snipes. So PDF. Let's get back to a PDF. Yeah, I really appreciate Matt Ringel. That's where I was. I think, open up Wulfsbane. There we go. I think Mr. Ringel is underappreciated generally in independent comics. It's just not right. So third and final book. This is a huge stream. The stream. I'm not even going to look at the time. The stream is long. Third and final book. It's a good setup. This hopefully should be quick. There we are. So there's your normal cover. And I'm going to do that kind of scroll. There we go. Here's that print that we saw on the inside. And I need to open my note sheet. So I've got notes, which means I'm going to have trouble seeing the chat. Let's see. Cal's big mistake, which was he should have made every page a cover. Woo, that is harsh. That is harsh. The stream is so long on 3 books that I don't want to go into why I'm very merciful with Rob. But right now there's a big unknown with Rob's work pattern about how many pages he's producing as opposed to, and I'm really jumping to the end of the big long, whatever, how much time he's devoting to supporting his family, because his wife works too, versus how much time he's allowing for working on Shinobi Sasquatch. I do know quite some time ago he admitted to me, which I think it was public, I think it was totally public, that he told me he has changed his techniques in order to get much faster than he was when the whole thing started. Now, what happened in the meantime, there's a story in there why I'm very merciful with Rob, and I do like him. I speak bluntly enough that it looks like I'm angry at a lot of people when I go back and read my tweets, so I appreciate anybody who's patient with me. So, but I do appreciate Rob, or Willis, and the situation he was put through. So why he's behind, and then why he is staying behind. But we just don't know how much he's doing of each now. But he is a good guy, or so I've been told, or so I've seen. So there we are. So anyway, please support Matt Ringel. He does have I almost forgot. Matt Ringel has another title that he's on number 2 of. It's called Alice. It is a cyberpunk story based on Alice in riffing on Alice in Wonderland somewhere. The number 1 campaign is closed. Hopefully when the number 2 campaign comes around, he'll have back issues as add-ons. A lot of people are doing that now, which is awesome. So if you look at Alice and you like the premise and it looks like something you might want to be into from Matt Ringel, bookmark him, get a Kickstarter account and hit follow on him. Man, I totally forgot. This is water. You see all my tea stains in there. But his thing, I messaged him a couple times. Hey, are you going to put your campaign on Indiegogo after Kickstarter? Because at the time I really wasn't doing any Kickstarter for reasons CG people would understand. And he would say, well, it's tough and blah blah blah. I finally saw the pricing schedule that you get from Indiegogo if you go do a after or straight to in demand from them. You have to pay them enormous amounts of money as percentages of like what you made on the prior or something like that. Don't quote me on that one. It is really bad. So it's very costly to do that after campaign thing on Indiegogo. Sounds like my zombie series, Wonderland. Alice doesn't live here anymore. I think that's cool. Anyway, so Matt Ringel, I would talk to him about doing that, and he would do it and get some backers. Still, he hasn't got the attention he deserves as a writer, etc., etc., etc. So where were we? I got that. I got Wulfsbane up. Said a bunch of stuff about Matt. And, okay, a bunch of stuff about Damon. Oh, yes, I looked up the origin of Vestri, the word, because I thought there's got to be something to this. So there are 4 dwarves in Icelandic mythology, and I think they're related to other mythologies in Europe and Eastern Europe. Vestri, Austri, Norhodli, sorry, and Suori. They got little accents over them. I can't read it. And those are north, south, east, and west. So Vestri is west, and I have yet to figure out why in the series it's called West or Western or something like that. But they would hold up the skull of, oh geez, as mentioned in the Wulfsbane, I can't, other accents all over the place. The sky was made from Ymir's skull, and these 4 dwarves would hold it up as the dome over the earth. So the dome is real, space is not. Okay, I'm kidding about that. Okay, that's all the notes I got. We're going to move to Wulfsbane. Read the entire opening quote and explain who the 4 people are. Okay, or 5 people are. Wulfsbane, here we are. Thanks for sticking with me, by the way. We're going breaks, loose threads, missing thoughts, etc. There's our writer, Thomas Mazel. We'll see more from him later. All right. Every man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the Wulfsbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. The Wolfman, 1941. Cool. All right. So, quick story summary. It starts as a detective story with a twist. We see a detective here. The first detective in the dark coat is Mulligan. The detective in the brown coat is Mackenzie. They're checking out a murder that some neighbors called in for screaming and noise and stuff like that. Notice the artistic decision. He's outside lighting a cigar. He goes in. We see red, blue, and it just goes on. We got another blue, red. Now we're getting purple with blue in the windows. So blue, red. The reason it's alternating this, I think this is a kind of a cool thing once I figured out what the hell is going on with the lighting. That's because of the police cars outside. Their lights are flashing. So we're seeing their light flash all over the place. I think it's kind of cool. Like, oh, I get it now. Anyway, the deal is that the father has been murdered. The girl is Morgan Whitley. Mr. Whitley is dead. Morgan Whitley goes to Montgomery High School, which, whoops, wrong window. In this, Mr. Mulligan, dark jacket, says, oh, Montgomery, because his son goes there. All right. And that's all we know there. So they get into talk. He's talking to the girl. This is going to be really quick. This is like a 21-page story. He's talking to the girl. It has all the elements you need. He wants to show the girl that he can be trusted and whatnot. He shows her a picture of his family. Why are you talking to me? He's trying to find out what was going on. She talks about her dad. Ever since her mom left, his dad has been drinking and violent. So now, strangely, whatever blanket she's wearing right here, she starts taking off. And then here it's draped over her, but it comes underneath. This might be an artwork error, but it looks like some kind of vest that she's wearing. Like, why is it tucked underneath around her over? You can do this with a blanket. I've done it too. You just get the corners over your shoulders and the corners around your waist. And then she drops it, which it's at a strange place in the conversation. And here, as she's starting to shed the blanket a little bit and show her bra, he's just sort of there like, okay. So the facial expression here is a little hard to read. Don't know what to make of it. He's not into her, but he's just sort of, yeah, she's female, blatantly, that kind of thing. So here she is in a blue frame, having dropped it. It gives me the idea that her father was sexually abusing her, but it's not said. And then they're interrupted by the social worker and the other detective, who is Mackenzie. So Mulligan, Mackenzie. Here's the social worker. We don't care about her name right now. It might come up in a later book. I don't know. And they hear a crash and whatnot, and they're going to go up and check out what's going on upstairs, because on the radio, this cop is calling for backup. He says, I am your backup. Or wait, I'm sorry. Did I get that wrong? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Mulligan tells Mackenzie, call for backup, and Mackenzie says, I am your backup, after the cop is on the radio with them. So we get to, I hope I didn't lose the image. I have to find this. It's going to be, I hope I put it in the right folder. So we get to this. Now notice, so far, I want to say the artwork is fine. I think there are better artists. Yes, everybody practices and grows. The two faces, they're similar enough. It's a little troubling. We got details. It's workable. Okay, I'm not going to condemn this artwork so far. That's important. Blue just gave himself a mulligan on correctly identifying characters. Thank you. If you could see my screen right now, like at the bottom of my screen below the StreamYard window, there's like a little gap where I can see my text file that has everybody's names written out, so I don't lose anything. All right. Oops, wrong window. All right, so here we are coming down. So a lot of the backgrounds so far has been very simple, very plain, like part of a building here, but we don't see a whole hallway. This, we see stairs. Something's a little awkward. Perspective, could be that lamp is odd looking in here. We come up, if we're going to come around the stairs and whatnot. But again, nothing too distracting. I have to kind of look for it. My eye on art still isn't greatly trained. I'm still looking for staging. And then we hit this page. And I'm going to make the caveat for this page about what could be good about it. before I say what's actually wrong with it. So, one good thing, that werewolf is disgusting. I'm sure, and I'm glad Mo Biggs is here. I'm sure Mo Biggs likes more fur on his werewolves than this. So, you're welcome. Let's see what this says. Okay, just haha. Yeah. There you go, Mo. I know you like your furries really furry. So anyway, we do get a perspective shot because the snout looks really small. This guy's very human looking, which makes it, to me, more disgusting. Like, oh, that creature, like creature gross out, not body horror. And with that, so here's this face. These little lines above his head. Let's zoom in on that if we can. Get into here. These give me the idea of something that I would do with everything that's wrong in this artwork. I would use the things that are wrong with it that I'll enumerate in a moment. And I'll highlight that in a sec, Mo. It's not popped up yet. But is there something psychic going on here rather than these being the little shock movement indicators that come from him standing up suddenly, you know? And I'll give that in a sec because this page has problems. So shrink one more click. Yep, there we go. Mo. Oops, wrong window. There we go. I don't like furries, but this guy should definitely leave more to the imagination. Yeah. Let's see. So he's very skinny and whatnot. And he has been eating the cop we just saw alive. So we got a dead body back here. The cop who was just there. You keep saying this isn't the best art, but I compare him to a modern day Frank Miller. Okay. just wait a moment. I'll share a different image. What I would do with this is if these lines are some kind of indicator of a psychic event going on, that he's feeling weird, woozy, out of place, then the so-called errors on this page, I think, could be used to indicate that for the reader. And I will show you them now because where's the vanishing point in this? Where do all the perspective lines go? Let's see. Do I have the Wulfsbane. Oh man, I bet I left it on my desktop. Where did I put that file? There we go. Okay, so I took some time. I prepared. I did show prep, which is why I didn't go lift weights. So where now I don't know where that is. We are going to change my screen share. Oh, the reason I'm not using my avatar is if I can still show you guys my hands, it to me the avatar would be too cold with showing a PDF. So let's see, video file, share screen. Here you go. Oops, sure. And add. There it is. So, holy cow. There are problems in here. Like, here's a line in the wallpaper. You see that wallpaper line go across there. It's just part of the wall. But we'll use the top of the wall where it meets the ceiling as well. This would be a vanishing point for the top, where the top of the ceiling goes. It does not meet up at all with, we're going to get seasick here, the vanishing points from the top of the bed, which goes down, the nightstand, which comes over here, the dresser, which is back here with all the red lines that go, so there's a red line down from the dresser, and it's not even parallel with the, like, what? Okay, these lines from that go this way from the dresser, they kind of converge at different places. What is going on here? I'm waiting for that comment to come up. Here we go. Nope, wrong one. He's going for the cinematic approach. That's why the vanishing points resemble floodlights on the Hollywood sign. Yeah, I guess. So when I first saw this, it's like, when I see it this exaggerated and this bad, to me it does cheapen the artwork a lot. You know, but if you're going to use something where you can take the vanishing point lines and kind of twist them a little bit, make them off kilter on purpose, you can do that a little to give the reader a we are woozy and out of it, like the shock of seeing this thing type scenario. But I think even if I were to say, let's pretend they meant to do that here, it goes too far. Everything's too far out of whack. And it just makes it look, I don't know. I showed this to somebody and he said it looked like that dresser was thrown in at the last minute instead of being part of the room. Like the height to the window doesn't make sense for American Standards, which is a toilet brand, but whatever. All right, so there we are. So yeah, this piece has problems, all right, which is the setup to, and I didn't even bother with the lines from the posters, but it doesn't make me angry or anything like that. It's just kind of unfortunate. So like I said, the positive thing first, what I would use it for if I were to use it for effect, I hope that comes across. In terms of gross out body horror, he did it. That werewolf had just got me like kind of, oh, I don't want to smell that thing. So let's see. Share screen, stop screen. I wish I could just hit share on a new thing and then it just takes over. Window, that's the one. Share. Wrong one. There we go. Did you ever consider the possibility that the bedroom belongs to a dwarf? Oh, man. I should be more considerate to the little people. All right. Perhaps even Vestri himself. Awesome. Okay, the story goes on. They confront. He shoots and misses. Werewolf throws him. I mean, this is very obvious. It's a fight scene. They look face to face. I do not remember where this thing... I think that's his necktie. And eye to eye, face to face. He shoots again and misses. The werewolf is backing off, running, and leaves. Okay. That's odd. That's right. Amscray is, and this is Mackenzie talking now, not Mulligan. Mulligan's down here with his arm hurt, etc. They're looking at their dead. They need a medic. I think he's dead. Is he dead? And a couple body bags. Okay, he needs a medic for himself. A couple body bags for them. They're talking. What's going on here? Here's a nice twist. I like how this is set up. Mackenzie finds a backpack in the girl's room. So the daughter, I follow instructions, hold that thought. Too far. Don't get seasick. Okay, you were saying, Mo? I mean, you didn't say please, but I scrolled back for you anyway. Mo is typing. All right, so this murder takes place up in the daughter's room, and it's her father who has been murdered. Her father was abusing her, possibly sexually abusing her. And that's all described. It gives us character development on everybody. Yeah, it's not a good Spider-Man pose. I was going to gloss over that one, say I ripped on one panel, I don't need to rip on another page. But this could be altered and improved quite a bit. I don't see the point in yelling, etc. It does. It looks like he's sliding his ass down the tree branch. All right. Hey, I want to be nice here. Trying to be nice here. There are things that could be improved. Back to the writing. This version of the artwork is okay. We're doing fine. And I'm only kidding about the tree branch. I know he's in front of it. It's load. It doesn't look like he's sliding down the tree branch, but still, yeah, it could use some improvement. All right. So Mackenzie. The siding should be getting smaller as you go to the top of the page. Oh, you know what? I didn't look at that, but that would be a perspective issue. Yeah, it should be wider down here. We've got the perspective. That's why it looks funny to me. Thank you, Jay Ryan. I knew it looked funny. I just couldn't put my finger on why, so I wasn't going to talk about it. But you're right. These should all be wider, and those should be narrower, and it's inverted. In fact, I think some of these are narrower, and that one's wider than, say, this one. Oops, you can't see my mouse. I'm on the wrong screen. This one is wider than, say, that one. Yeah, it's backwards. Huh. Thank you for pointing that out. I totally missed it. Because Wulfsbane's posed like a ballerino. I have not seen them do that pose. Anyway, Jay Ryan, good catch. Yes. I was going to leave this one alone. I mean, okay, I mocked it a little bit for the sliding down the branch, but to me, it's just he looks like he's jumping in front of a shadow of the tree rather than the tree itself. But man, you were right, Jay. Okay, ballerina, we're caught up there. I'm going to jump to the end of this. Pardon the seasick. All right, so they find behind the door a backpack, and it belongs to Lawrence Mulligan. In other words, this guy's son, the backpack belongs to his son, and that's the end of the book. After they've talked about the case a little bit up here. You know, what's in the bag, Mackenzie? You ain't gonna like it. That's Mackenzie, apparently. So do you get the twist that the werewolf could be Mulligan's son? And what's he going to do with it? So the promo stuff for issue 2 is what we're going to look at next. And the artwork is improved. I think it's improved. And then that's the stream. So let's get over there and do that. What window do I have? Yep, there it is. Okay. Rearrange. Oh, I could have done slides. What? Should be. All right, stop screen. Present. Whatever you do, don't go hating. Here, I'll just put that there so we have something nice to look at. Don't go hating on this guy. I'm going to be supporting issue 2, no problem. Hope I showed that right. Yep, here we are. Okay, he has made his goal. And I may be changing up what I'm picking for. That's from issue 1. Whoops. Let's get a little more artwork here. So I think there's an improvement here. Let's see if we can. Yep, we can play this game a little bit better. So without getting into the story, we've got issue 2 coming up. Questions going, which way is the story going? Is the detective's son the werewolf? It seems like it. Oops, wrong window. And this is subtitled "A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing." Oh, there is a note on the campaign up here. Our letterer and some dialogues have been changed. Credits to the team are at the end of the campaign. This lettering that you see may not be how it ends up, especially for pages like this. So I think Luke Stone. I'll get to all that. Yeah, here are the credits. Same artist. I think that might be the same colorist. Real quick, take a peek. No, the colorist is different. Okay. So, wait. No. Colorist is the same. Cover artist. I read the wrong credit. Colorist. Same colorist, same artist, same writer, different lettering. So, they might get some editing out of that letterer. So, Luke Stone of Fund My Comic fame is doing the lettering on this book. So, good for him. And hopefully good for the book. Find us on our website, Wulfsbanecomic.com. Zip back up real quick. Take a look at all those. I hope you saw the 6 a.m. stickers there. So this kind of lettering may be getting cut down. Maybe there's a pattern of action versus heavy dialogue like that. I think the artwork has improved. The wolf is a little bit different. Now, I have not read these. I can hide it all. It can hide all at once. It can even travel the world for all I care. That giant Shih Tzu needs to answer for those lives. I owe them that much. Through hell or high water, I'm going to find that son of a bitch. And that is, from the jacket, I think that's Mulligan. And then he wakes up from whatever he was on. Okay, so this is a print that is... Can I make that taller? Oh, that's better. There we go. Yeah, this is a print that's coming out. That's cool. I think that's really cool. 6 a.m. comic stickers. And I'll read you the blurb in a moment. We got covers. And I like this cover a lot. And then a traditional 1940s Wolfman cover. And then this is a Virgin cover they're doing. And then this is a limited cover. So it's, instead of $10, it's $25. So down here, if you want to get that, it's not in the add-ons for some reason. So you start with this perk and then add on other things if you want them. Looked at that the other day. So, and let's see the limit on that cover, which is by, I forget his name. Cult Classic Edition. I forget his name, but he's being adopted by CG. But this is really well drawn. That is weird. Okay. So, Anyway, it's 25. There's 17 out of 25 left. So yeah, they're $25. That's expensive. It's limited to 25. And then, oops, wrong one. Is there anything left? Nope, nothing there. So all of our covers you can get there, and you can get PDFs. So you can add on PDFs of number 1. I think this perk right here, $20. You get a paper number 1 with this cover, and then pick your cover of the other ones. So anyway, advertising. It doesn't say on the campaign who drew it. No, I'm trying to remember his name. And why can't I remember him? Because I'm live streaming. That's why I can't remember things. Oh, I was witness to an argument on Twitter, and now I have 10 notifications waiting for me. I don't want to. Oh gosh. He has a really unusual nickname, and it's totally escaping me, and I just followed him. Now I'm distracted. Okay. I can't believe you skipped my previous comment. I thought you'd enjoy it. Well, all right. I'm doing 5 things at once. My bad. Here we go. Fine. I won't share my critiques with him, even though he appears to be open to many different perspectives. That was really clever. Thank you, Mo. It doesn't say on the campaign who drew it. I don't think it does. Variant cover. Virgin by Skunk Artworks. There it is. Skunk Artworks. You can find him on Twitter. Just search Skunk Artworks. It's that guy. So, man, that was difficult. I made that way harder than it needed to be. And let's see. So that artwork I think is better. There was something else I wanted to show here. Oh, yeah. Just read real quick. And here we are. Move that over so I can see. What would life be like if you were a werewolf? For Lawrence, a moody teenage loner, things could be better. So, yeah, he is the werewolf. It tells us right here in the blurb for number 2. On one hand, and so that's his dad. Who was shooting at him. So that raises for me the question: is the dad a werewolf? Does the dad, is it genetic? What's going on? On one hand, it's also, this plays into, sorry for interrupting myself, this plays into the classic tropes of converting into a werewolf being a parallel for puberty and stuff like that. Okay, like Spider-Man and whatnot. All right. On one hand, he's one of the school's top outcasts. On the other, his hairy alter ego is a wanted fugitive. When his hometown becomes a hotspot for supernatural phenomena, which means there's more coming, he must try to make it through high school while protecting those he loves from things that go bump in the night. So this may totally turn around from a detective story into like werewolf want to be good guy having trouble because he eats people. All right, so wait, he stole his own backpack? No, I think he was getting busy with the girl up in the room, and her dad walked in and got violent, and he ended up murdering her dad. That's what I think happened. So, what a twist. Yeah, don't know where this is going. So, I mean, it's told well enough here, and I'm intrigued by the rest of it that, yeah, I'm going to keep going with this, and I see the artwork improving anyway. So, and by the way, my apologies to the artist if I've been too offensive or anything like that tonight. Please don't be hurt. But that was the theme. Jakub was improving. Matt Ringel as a writer didn't get the attention he really deserves. He's got another book coming out called Alice. Part 1 is gone. We've got this book. Part 2 is up here. Matt Ringel's gonna have his part 2 up eventually, and hopefully Alice will be just as good. So here we are. Oh, okay, there's Jason Jordan's link is up in the chat. Hey, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Mo Biggs, for being a good sport, and thanks. I am going to be supporting that. Thank you, Felix Haas, for all the links, and just everybody playing along. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a good night. Oh, as Oleksii Novikov, that's the bearded guy in the intro, as he says, except it's in Russian. I got to find the translation. Hugged everyone, lifted everyone, because he's a weightlifter. I hope you're all doing well. And if you're not, things will get better.